Shall we start? Can you hear me? Did you download the paper?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is 2019 paper codes I have sent. Okay. Match the program construct to the example. Repetition. Naila.
While
While loop. Okay. Condition. Rushda.
if mark
If marks. Pseudocode. Sanula. Sanula pseudocode. Sanula. Pseudocode. Arham. Pseudocode.
So begin, print, hello world, end.
Okay. Tilochana variable.
A plus 5.
the in
You mean A equals 5? A equals 5 is can be taken as assignment, okay? Because 5 is put to A, no? 5 is assigned to A, right? So it can be taken as assignment. Okay. Variable is this, right? This is variable declaration. This is called declaration. Declaration, okay? This one is assignment. Okay, right. So let me share the screenshot. Briefly explain the meaning of variable and its purpose in programming. Right. So variable is a location in the memory that is used to store a value temporarily when the program is running, right? A location in the memory that is used to store a value temporarily. When the program is executed.
Sir, this is a practical paper or theory paper.
It's a practical paper. Tomorrow you have practical, right?
Yeah.
The practical paper, you have questions like this for you to write. Okay. A variable is given an identifier. Identifier is the name of the variable. Okay. Right. Now to the practical. I mean, in between practical exercises, you have theory questions like this. Open the file Q1A. Now, I want you also to do the coding part, right? Open the file Q01A in the code editor. Answer these questions using the code. Q01A, right? Can you open Q01A? Q01A. Right, so you have to answer the questions based on that. Identify an example of variable assignment. Variable assignment.
the x equals 0.
X equals 0 is also correct. X equals int input enter number is also correct, right? Because you can uh, assign a variable with a value in two ways. One is directly giving the value. The other is asking the user to input the value. Both are okay, right? So let me take a screenshot of that and put it there. Identify the type of repetition loop used in the program. Type of loop. Type of loop.
While
While loop.
Yeah, while loop is the example, the loop example, right? So here we are expecting the type of loop, which is
that one, like
precondition loop, right? Precondition loop, which is while loop. We have three types of loops. Okay, one is precondition loop. Okay, let me show you the other two.
the for loop is what type of thing?
Yeah, good question. I'll mention that later. So we have loops. We have precondition, which is the while loop. Because in while, you have to satisfy the condition before entering the loop, right? Condition. And satisfy this before entering the loop. Until that, you can't enter the loop. Next is post condition loop. If precondition is there, then we have the post condition. Post condition example, repeat until. Now, repeat until is not really there in the book, but repeat is there. Just repeat is there. I like repeat 10 times like that as you to go design, but not repeat until. But just remember there's a loop called repeat until, especially in A levels we learn this. Repeat until and then only the condition is checked. Right? So the condition is checked at the end of the loop. Right here. Therefore, it's called post condition loop. Then we have wait, my tablet is playing full. Right. The next loop is where the for loop is an example, and that is called counter control. Counter control or count control. That is for loop. The reason is for loop, before we start the for loop, we know exactly how many times it's going to loop. The number of iterations is known. That's why it's called count control or counter control. Number of iterations known before starting the loop. Understand? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Right. So precondition loop, while what does condition x greater than 0 means? Condition x greater than 0 mean? That's this one. Actually, one part is missing here. There should be while, right? While x greater than 0 means, right? It means as long as the value of x is greater than 0, and if the value is 0 or less, the loop or less the loop will be terminated. Okay, right. Can you think of the answers for these? Just give me a minute. Right. Okay. Next one. Comments are added using hashtags in Python. Explain the advantage of using comments in the program. Right. What's the advantage? I think we discussed this yesterday also, no? For today's paper. Comments are used to, yeah, they are used to describe the code, right? That's the purpose of the comments, so that we understand, uh, what the program does clearly. Insert the comment user enters a number above the line of code that reads a value from the keyboard. User enters a number. So where should we enter? Right here, right? This is where the user enters a number. So you can put a comment. User enters a number. But you also do it, right? In your code. You also do it. Briefly explain what happens if the user enters a minus value or or zero. Okay. If user enters a minus value or zero. Well, for that we can run this. Zero. It asks for another number. Minus value. It asks for another number. So you can see it's actually validating the number entry, right? You also check it.
So,
Yeah, Naila.
so the the code says it's not writable. Like when I try to run the program.
It's not writable. Did you extract the code? Maybe not. You open it from the zip, no? You have to
Yes,
extract.
sir.
You have to extract the zip. Hey, for IT, you have learned that, right? A disadvantage of zipping is that you can't use the file unless you decompress the file. Decompress the file, extract the file, and then open and do it. Okay, guys. Next one. Insert the comment there that briefly explain what happens. Yeah. So what happens when the minus value is entered? It validates the user entry to avoid user entry and rejects rejects minus and zeros by asking the user to re-enter until he enters the positive value. Okay, right. Amend the code to print the countdown to 0. Save the file as Q01. Right. So in the exam, it's always better to save this as finished first. like this, right? File, save as. I didn't actually do it the beginning, so you better save it like this, finished, and then you do the editing, right? Okay, now you can see that when you enter a positive value, it prints a countdown from that number to 1. So can you amend the code to print down to 0? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you quickly amend the code? If you have successfully done it, give a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Right? Did you understand what we need to do? Now it's printing from that number down to 1. You have to print it down to 0. Quickly. Yeah? If you did it successfully, give a thumbs up. Finished, everyone? What can I do? As long as now this is the validation part, right? and this is the countdown. As long as x is greater than 0, it will print x, deducting one by one, right? So what can you do for this? You can
Sir, x is greater than -1.
-1. So if you put -1, it will go up down to 0, because 0 is the
Yeah.
next higher value of -1. Yeah,
So what if you put x is greater than or equals to 0? It's
yeah,
still
that's
print
also
0.
fine. That's also fine. Yes, correct. Good.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, both are correct, right? Less than, greater than, or equal to 0 is also okay. Okay, right. Let's move to the next question. Open Q01B in the code editor, amend the code to correct two program errors. Save your amended code as Q01B finished. Okay, so let's open it. Right, just run it. Enter number. Okay, less than not supported between instance of int and string. Okay, where's the problem? Num is going to be, there's no int in this one. So num is a string, right? A is an int, num is a string. So what you have to do? You need to have the int function. Or if it is a number, it should be converted into integer or float. Right. Enter number, total is 10. Is that a problem? It can be a logical error even, right? Okay, so see the purpose of the program is given. Print the sum of numbers 1 to a number entered by the user. Okay, so if it is 5, then it should be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 15. So you can see it's not adding everything, right? So the reason is A is 1, A is less than num. So if the num is 5, it goes only up to 4. So we have to put equal here, right? Equal. So there's a logical error and a syntax error. As long as A is less than or equal to 5. So from 1 to 5, what does it do? It will add A to the total. And and A will be incremented one by one up to 5. So now if I enter 5, that's 15. Understood? Right. Can you correct it? Can you also try it? I didn't save it as finished. So again, don't forget to save it as finished as soon as you open before you edit, right? Right. Can you? I'll give you 1 minute. Quickly correct those two errors. Give a thumbs up. Okay, next one. The solution must be implemented for the user to enter the length of one side and output the volume and area of a cube. All solutions start with an algorithm design. Write the pseudocode for the above problem. You must follow the standards wherever applicable. Volume is length into the power of 3. Area is 6 into length to the power of 2. So we had output the volume and the area of the cube. Okay, so it's a pseudocode they want. So we have to enter, use is going to enter the length of one side, right? So what can I say? Use is going to length of, so set length to 0, and then output enter length, and then input, sorry, not like that. I was writing A-level pseudocode. So send this to display. Receive length from integer keyboard. That's how we write, nah?
So why do I have to put integer in brackets?
Check the book, Lilo. That's how they have put, right? We are following the book, right? In the book, it's like that, right? Receive length from integer keyboard. You have to specify the data type, right? Can you check one of the examples?
Yes, it's like that.
It's like that, nah? But book to book, it's different, right? Well, that's why I got mixed up with the A-level one. Even if you write something logical, we can give marks, but try to follow what's in the book as much as possible, because that's what is tested for this qualification, right? Set area to 0, and then we have another variable, set volume to 0 as well. That is declaring the variable and initializing everything to 0. And here you're asking the user to enter the length, and then we have to calculate the area and the volume, right? So that's easy. Set area to 6 into length into length into length. Length into length should be the area, no? Times 6. And then set volume to length. Yeah, we can even put like this, length. Power value was caret symbol, no? Caret symbol like this to the power of 3. And then we had finally output. Send area is area to display. Send volume is volume to display. That's it. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts? Right. Okay, now can you do the next one? Open the Q2A and write the program code based on the above pseudocode. You must follow the coding standards where applicable. Test the program with some sample values. Check whether the program gives the right output. Save the file as Q2A finished. Okay, you just need to implement this. And this one, it's nice if you put begin and end, but it is not that important also, right? I mean, in the exam paper answer is not so important, but it's a good standard. But if you put begin and end, remember to indent. Okay.
Sir, indentation is not the will lose mark.
Eh?
Will lose mark.
If you don't put begin and end.
No, if you don't like indent it.
Indent, yeah, we are looking at the presentation also, right? Yeah. One no, like maybe 1 mark.
Yeah, I indented, like I left a very small space.
Indentation is important. Basically, like when you're writing the code, not only the pseudo code, but Python code also, standardization is important. That's something we look at, right? Okay, so can you quickly implement this? Open the code 2A, no? 2A, and then as soon as you open, you save it as finished. Okay, quickly code it.
Yeah, could you show the pseudo function?
Pseudo code.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how do you go program to input the, oh, what is this? That's the wrong file, no? This is radius and circumference of area. So we'll change this. That's wrong, eh? Program to input. Are we looking at the correct file? Yeah. Program to input the length, output, volume, and area of a cube. Right. So now let's follow this. Length to 0. Area to 0. Volume to 0. Enter length. Length equals int input. If they wanted real numbers, then it has to be float, not int. It should be float if they wanted real numbers. Enter length. And then area. They ask us to use the standards, right? So it's better to comment on this. Variable niche here. I see. This one, user input. And these will be calculations. So the area is 6 into length. How in Python, how do you put power? Using double asterisk. Double asterisk 2 means length to the power of 2. Okay, that's same as the caret sign here. It's double equal, sorry, double asterisk. So double asterisk length, double asterisk 2 means length to the power of 2 into 6. Okay, then volume equals length double asterisk what? Double asterisk what?
So 3.
3. Good. And then output print area is area. Now remember, this is not concatenating. If it is concatenating, you have to put plus sign. This is just printing it as two separate outputs. It doesn't join anything. Print volume is volume. Okay, I think it's finished. Int object is not callable. I put multiplication there, right? Enter length 5, area is 150, volume is 125. 5 into 5 is 25, 25 into 6 is 150, no? Yeah. Length into the power of 3, that is length is 5, 5 into 5 into 5. 25 into 3, 125. Right. Can you test your program? Complete your program and test whether you are getting these answers if you enter 5 as the length. And tell me. Naila, you finished now? Arham, you finished? Yeah. Did you test with the values? Naila, Arham? Right. What about Sanula?
Yes, sir.
Sanula, Tilojana, have you finished?
Yes, sir.
Hurry up. Finished. Arham, Naila, Sonula, Philosophy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, question number 3. You have to implement this pseudocode in program code. Just follow the pseudocode and implement it. We'll talk about the decompression and abstraction in a moment. We'll come back to that question. So for the moment, you use this incomplete and erroneous program code, which is Q03A. Amend the code, run this code in that file, and comment wherever possible, and then compare with the result. Right, quickly. If you have any doubts, let me know. Hurry up. Yeah, did you do it? Finish? All of it? It's easy, right? Or are you still doing it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, did you finish it or?
So wait, I'm still doing.
Ah,
Yes,
right, okay.
I'm
Okay, fine, fine.
So I think I'm done.
Right. So if you think you have done, you test it. How do you test? Send enter time of the day to display. Receive the time from float keyboard. So you have to enter it as a float value, right? Just like they have given in these conditions. Like if it is 5 a.m., you have to give it like 05 dot 00. If it is 6 p.m., it should be 18.00 hours. Right. Now you put a value and see where it ends up.
Okay, sir.
Just a random value.
Sir, my one doesn't even like, it doesn't even ask the user to input the time.
Why is that? Okay, send me your Python code, Naila. Erosion finished, no? Right, Naila, send me the Python file.
So it worked.
Cool, nice. Naila, send me the Python file, py file. Then I can run it here because I didn't I type the code.
So I found the problem.
What was it?
In the where is it? The input value. She
Mhm.
hasn't put the second bracket to
Ah,
cover up the yeah.
And so now it is.
input value, yeah, over here, na? Second bracket. Yeah. So others, can you check if I enter, let's say, 12:45? Check whether you are getting good afternoon, others. That's Sanul and Tilochana. Can you confirm whether you are getting good afternoon if you put 12:45?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, great. So then that,
Sir,
yeah.
now my output is incoming now.
Ayyo. Hey, I'm running you one, no?
So I put a bracket and
Okay.
then I run there. I
Mhm.
run it. And then
How come? I'm running you on. 1750. So good afternoon. That's correct, right?
okay, thanks.
Works?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Next question is a trace table. We'll come back to this trace table later on. First, we'll do this one. Following is a flow chart for a program that would find how many even numbers are between 2 and given value by a user. Example, if the user enters 10, there are 5 even numbers between 2 and 10. Convert the following flowchart to a program code. You must use the structure given in the Q3C. Save it as Q3 if you finished. Yeah. Okay, can you quickly? I'll give you 5 minutes. What you have to do is you have to look at this pseudocode, convert it into actual Python code. Okay, right, go ahead. 5 minutes.
in case no. Should I put that exclamation mark to indicate that no?
What is it, Naila?
That exclamation mark or not?
Yeah, this is pseudocode. Yeah, if it is not, you have to put. No. Here you can use not straight away because what we are checking is num percentage 2, num mod 2 equals 0, no? Right? If num mod 2 equals 0, then it's a prime, right? Okay, we have to output whether it's a prime or not. So in front of that, I mean before that, you have to put not, the logical operator not equal to. What we are checking is whether this is equals to whether num mod 2 equals to 0. So we can't put that as not equal to. Right? We are checking whether this whole condition is false by putting not. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If a number is exactly divisible by 2, it is not prime. If a number is exactly divisible by 3, it's not prime. If number is 2 or 3, it's prime. Anything other than that is also prime.
Done, sir.
Okay, Anand. What about others? Samla, Tilochana? Tilochana finish?
Yes, yes.
Naila, okay. Arham?
Okay, sir.
Sir, I did the program, but my results are not going.
What is it, Naila? My?
Sir, some errors are coming.
Errors are coming. Okay, let's do it. 408. Okay, watch how we do it. Receive num from integer keyboard. Enter number. If num equals 2 or 3. Num equals 3. Remember to repeat this. Num equals 2 or num equals 3. You gotta repeat num there. It's a prime. If not, uh, else if not. Right. We will put it to the else part of it.
Sir, why can't you use delete?
Yeah. That's also fine. Elif not num mod 2 equals 0. Num mod 2 equals 0. Print elif not num percentage 3 equals 0. Print okay, and then finally else is a prime, right? Okay, let's test it. Q04 finished. Enter number 2 is a prime. Enter number 3 is a prime. 11 is a prime. 11 is not a prime. Eleven should be prime, no? 11 is prime, right?
Yeah, sir.
Hmm. Elif not num. No. Why do we put not there? Sorry. This is if not, if not. If not. Not the logical operator not. If not. If not. That is else if. That's what it means. Not logical operator not. You got it? If num equals 2 or
Sir,
num.
now it's 11 is a prime.
Yeah. So if num equals 2 or num equals 3, you do this. If not, you check this condition. If not, you check this condition. That's what it means, right? Not the logical not. Okay. Yeah, it's a prime. 35. It's a 35 can't be a prime, right? I think there's not enough conditions here. Verify can't be a prime number, no? Two or three. It's not two or three. It's not divisible by two, exactly divisible by two. It's not exactly divisible by three. So I think there's another condition missing here. Okay. Some conditions are missing there, right? Mm. 39 is prime. It's not prime, no?
No, sir, it's divisible by 3.
Yeah. So since they have asked you to convert the zero code into Python code, I think that's all right. And how about checking with 7 also? Tell me number. Tell me a prime number. Tell me a prime number and not a
13,
huh? 40?
13,
13. It's a prime. Okay, tell me another number. Not which is not prime.
the 40,
40, yeah. Okay, I think now it works, no? So what I did was I added num mod 7. It's not exactly divisible by, I mean, if it is exactly divisible by 7, it's not a prime. So that's why 35 is exactly divisible by 7 without remainder, so it's not a prime. So numbers that are divisible by 7 are not prime. Not a prime. That's correct. 201 is 201 prime. One supposed to be prime.
So it says 201 is a prime.
Oh no, it's not a prime number. It's divisible by 1, 3. I mean 3. So yeah, 67, and it's divisible by 67 also. So 201 is 1. Ah, 200. Ah, that 201 is not a prime. That's correct, because it's divisible by 3 and 61. Sorry, 67. Okay, so when you put that condition, it completes. Otherwise, you will have to have a loop which checks dividing a number by 2, 3, 4, 5 up to that number. Right?
So should we put that?
No, in the exam, of course, if they have given something like this, you just convert that. You don't need to add the additional code. But when we tested, we found that there's an error. So we tried to fix it. That's all right. But in the exam, you don't have to spend time on finding it because the pseudocode has a problem. Okay, let's quickly do this one. Loops are used to execute the same set of instructions repeatedly if a certain condition is met. Open the file Q3B. Okay, can you open that file? Q3B. Okay, now there is a trace table to fill out. Okay, so trace table, you know how we use it, right? We just go through the code top to bottom. Normally we do this for pseudocodes, but it can be done for Python code as well, right? Right. Complete the trace table below to show the execution of the code and the final if the user enters the following values: 5, -2, 6, and so on. Right. So in the trace table, we should have the variables used in the program. We have the total, correct? We have numbers. We have num. Then we have the while condition. And then we have the output. You can see there are two outputs, right? One is the numbers -1 is output, and the total is output. Okay, so we have got all the variables correct. And let's start from the beginning, from top. Total equals 0. So you put 0 there. Numbers equals 1. Num is entered by the user. Okay, so what is the number? First number entered by the user is 5. So it's 5 here. Is there going to be output? Is there going to be output? Yes or no? Now the while condition says num as long as num not equal to 0. It is not 0. So you enter the while loop. You enter the while loop. Is there an output? No, right? Output comes after the while loop. So no output yet. But you enter the while loop because as long as num not equal to 0. Yeah, 5 is not equal to 0. You enter the while loop, right? And then num is added to the total. Right, look very closely. Num is added to the total. So total becomes what? Tell me. You also tell me. Total becomes num is added to the total. Tilochana, total becomes? Yeah? Tilochana?
1,
7?
7,
7 or for total is 0, no? For total, you add num. Num is 5. So total is 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then you enter the next number. You enter the next number, right? Next number is -2. Right. So what happens? You enter -2. Next number is not this one, -2. And then you increase the numbers by 1. So this numbers become 2. No output yet. It goes back and checks whether the condition is true. Num not equal to 0. Yeah, it's not equal to 0. It's -2. And then it's added to the total. So -2 is added to the total. So what's the total now? Current total is 5. -2 is added to the total.
Sir, is it 3?
It's 3, right? Right. Others, if there's a mistake, tell 3. Then you read the next number, which is 6. Next number is 6. And numbers is increased by 1. And then goes back and checks whether num is not equal to 0. Num is not equal to 0 is true because it's 6. And then 6 is added to the total. Okay, what's the total, Sanlu? There's no output yet. Sanlu, what's the total?
Is it 9?
It's 9. It's 9. Good. Excellent. It's 9. Total is 9. And then you read the next number, which is 3. And numbers is increased. It's 4. And then it goes and checks whether num is not equal to 0. Yes, it's not equal to 0. It's 3. So it's added to the total and the total becomes 12. And then you read the next number, which is 12. Numbers is increased. And 12 not equal to 0 is true. So 12 is added to this 12 and it's 24. Read the next number, which is -2. And numbers is increased. -2 is not equal to 0. So it's also added to this. So it becomes 22. Still no output. It's so easy. Then you read the next number, which is 16. And numbers is increased. Goes back and checks 16 not equal to 0 is true. 16 is added to this. Becomes 38. And you read the next number, which is -3. -3 is not equal to -3 and the numbers is increased. Goes back and checks the condition. -3 Okay. So we are right here. So we have added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Right. So this -3 has to be added. -3 is not 0, so this will be added to the total. So it's going to be 35, right? 35. And you input the next number, which is 0. And numbers is increased to 9. And goes there and checks whether num is not equal to 0. Now it's equal to 0. So it will exit the loop. Now that's where it will output these two. Now only there's an output, right? So it will output numbers -1. Numbers -1 is 8. And the total is 35. So ultimately what has happened? It has output the total of all the numbers up to 0. So that is 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11, 14, 14, 26, 26, 36, 42. 42, and then 39, 39, 37, 37, 35. Correct. Understood. Let's run and see. Let's run and see, and then we'll confirm. You can confirm it. Any questions? Did you understand? Yeah. 5 minus 2, 6, 3, 12, minus 2, 16, minus 3, and 0. Total 8 numbers. 8 numbers and 35. Understand? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Right. So don't get scared of these trace tables. They are really easy. Only thing is you have to do it properly right from the beginning till the end. Even if you find the pattern, don't fill everything at once. Okay. Right. Finally, two important techniques used in computational thinking are decomposition and abstraction. Explain how decomposition was used in planning solution in the above scenario. Well, above scenario, what is the above scenario? Okay, so the main problem was to find the area and the volume of a cube. This can be identified as two modules. So what you did was you applied decomposition to break it down into two. One to calculate the volume, one to calculate the area. So that's how you apply decomposition to it. Then abstraction is, first you have to tell what decomposition is, right? Decomposition is breaking down a problem into smaller manageable tasks. Abstraction is leaving out any unnecessary details from the problem. So what did you do? To leave out any unnecessary details, you just concentrated only on calculating the volume and the area. And the length was enough for calculating both. So you didn't think of inputting any other values. I mean, number of sides, for example, is fixed for a cube. So you don't need to ask the user to enter the number of sides. So that you didn't bother about that, something like that. So abstraction is leaving out any unnecessary details from the problem, focusing on only the core of the problem. And now we have two modules, calculating the volume, calculating the area. These two can be implemented separately. Right? For both of them, there's only one input, which is the length. Understand? Clear? Okay. That's the end. The whole paper is done. Nah? Any questions? Any problems?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, then good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Important thing is make sure that you open the file, immediately name it as finished, and then do the work so that you have a backup, right? See, the original file is there and the finished file is there. These files will be taken for marking. Right. Okay, then see you. So tomorrow is the last exam, right?
Sir, is it okay if I read the original file?
That's okay, but I don't recommend that. If you do it for
Okay,
the
sir.
contest, you will do it for the final exam also, right? Because if something goes wrong, then we have to replace the files. So that will take time, and you will not be given extra time. Tomorrow is the last exam.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Then okay then. See you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.